Captain, I can feel your pain. Let me take it from you.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
I need my pain.
I'm going to say this
Don't
up
tell
front.
me I should have zigged instead of zagged.
I liked Final Frontier more than this episode.
Yeah. You know what? I would have to agree with you. I like Final Frontier better than this episode.
It had its moments.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Yelling at Gaseous Anomalies. I'm your host, Captain Matt Roth, and I'm with the recovering XO, Michael Pontone. How we doing tonight, Mike?
Very good, Captain. However, Captain, you've got some space flu. He called himself Matt Roth. His name is Matt Ross. But that's okay.
I said Ross.
Okay.
Maybe it's the cold that you've had for like 100 years.
I will not stop. I am been sick, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a little baby at home. It doesn't stop.
It does. Eventually it stops. And you know what?
I don't know when this cough is going to stop. I feel like I'm going to be like a tuberculosis victim in the 19th century.
Well, you know, it's actually apropos because of the original series they haven't cured the common cold. Next Gen they did. Apparently in Discovery and everywhere else they kind of forgot about that. But that's another story. Tonight, we're dealing with the Empath. That's why Mike is talking about Star Trek V. Because Cybok was sort of an empath.
So it's true.
He felt your pain, Mr. Luckenbill. I actually don't like Star Trek V. I still stand by the fact that the book was better than the movie. Yes, I actually read these things too. But tonight's episode 12 of Season 3, has got a lot of the same problems we keep running into. The dragginess, the slowness, the empath.
12 down, 12 to go. Then we can slough this off for... We're going to go to TNG or we're going to go to the animated series?
Animated, we could do both. We could, you know, this one, I don't know what to make of this one. It's not one of my favorite ones. It's a black box theater experiment. But let's give you the summary from the NBC press release, which usually sucks, but here we go. The press release is for November 12th, 1968. It says, aliens decree death for Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and Dr. McCoy in a bizarre experiment in which humans are used as guinea pigs in The Empath. That's actually pretty accurate. Catherine Hayes is the empath named Jem.
Yeah.
And she's not truly outrageous. Yes, that's an 80s reference, which I put in a short. I don't know what to make of this. It starts off kind of weird. It's kind of body horror-ish. It starts off with they're at a like a colony, or rather a science base, and they're trying to see a planet destroy itself or a star destroy itself.
Yeah.
And they go in there and nothing is touched. I actually like the set, to be honest with you. I like the set. It's got that stairway thing. I think that's kind of neat.
The set was the best part of it. Honestly, I'm not even exaggerating. I really liked... No, okay. Right up off top. I liked the black box set. It was something cool and interesting and different. I'm sure that there was like a temptation just to have the normal, styrofoam rocks in the background. And, wait, there was more that I liked. Oh, the alien design. They actually looked kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
They tried. They could have just had two guys in random robes, but they didn't.
Well, you know, you could tell their money was really cut on this one. The fact that it was a black box. I will also tell you this is a unique start. I mean, you have a Bible quote in the beginning.
In his hand are the deep places of the earth. Psalm 95, verse 4.
Oh, I keep thinking that was Samuel Jackson.
Look at the big brain on Captain Matt.
But I don't know. It's an interesting plot. You start off with people that are not part of Starfleet, in fact. You got like some sort of science contractors studying this stuff, and then they disappear. And then same thing happens to our heroes, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. They get sent to a black box. It's very creepy, actually. I mean, you know it's done for production purposes, but, you know, the fact that they're kind of walking in like a set path at that beginning, I like that, actually. I thought that was... You kind of got the feeling you had to use your imagination a little bit better.
There were, again, there were a lot of things that I liked. I liked the whole setup. I liked that Kirk was being very protective of his ship. You know, when he was like, hey, solar flares are coming. Don't worry about us. Come back in a day. You know, we'll be able to survive a day. And it was good decision making. And again, Captain asked me earlier, what I thought about this, and I said, "Listen, this is a quote from a famous Hobbit. Like many episodes this season, butter spread over too much bread. Had a fine opening, fine premise, not enough plot, super thin motivation, just nothing. This entire episode could have been done in 30 minutes easily. There was no reason for it to be double."
I totally agree with you on that one. I mean, until they got to the point, it was basically this is a test to see which alien in this solar system, which they really don't go on too much
Right, we
about.
don't even know. We don't even meet the other aliens.
No, so just to get right down to it, we have a group called the Vians with like pushed in heads and weird like devices, and they're testing the Enterprise crew. Well, not testing the Enterprise crew. They're torturing the Enterprise crew, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, as well as the two scientists before, to see if an alien race in this solar system is worthy enough to save. Does the Vians have the authority or ability to save one out of the 3 inhabited planets in this solar system?
Yeah.
I thought that concept is a great idea. It's just not enough.
No.
That's
and
part of the problem.
Also, like our people, the characters we love, they're not being tested. They're just a prop for something else going on. And further, like again, it could have had so much more fleshed out. Look at it like this: why they never explained for a single moment why the empath doesn't talk. Right? Did I miss something?
Well, no, yeah, they said she was born without vocal cords or the ability to have psychic powers or anything, and she could hear, but she can't talk. She's born without vocal cords. It's a little strange.
She's a mute, yeah. No vocal cords, not even vestigials.
But there's no narrative purpose to that. So,
Yeah.
like, my whole thing is like, okay, why'd they make that decision? It wasn't necessary. It took away anyone talking about giving any sort of insight into what the alien races were like, right? You know what I mean? Like
right.
Who they were and where they come from and what it is to live in a society of empaths, which would have been pretty cool. And also the biggest thing is Scotty's a great bridge commander. There could have been a fine B story where Scotty is interacting with the planets that are at stake. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you don't you don't see the other planets, you don't know what they are. It's tiring. I will tell you that the actress who plays Jem, that is Catherine Hayes, she actually knows how to. She was a mime, so she did have the ability to do that stuff. Catherine Hayes is memorable as Jem. I like the way she's able to emote, but the story needs some work. Joyce Muscat is a fresh Cal State graduate who knew Freiberger. That's how she kind of got this gig. Even the director of this over here, it's kind of like as a backup over here, John Ehrman. It was just there's something that it's missing in this. It doesn't have. It's trying to have that Trek humanist ideology in it or something in it. I think it fails in that regard. It like lightly touches it because you're basically, as the audience, you're almost like Kirk, Spock, and McCoy actually looking on from the outside in. And it in some regards, that's what I felt like. It's like I don't see the point of doing this.
Yeah.
Or this test. You know,
this episode, it had no purpose. I don't understand why it existed. What did the characters learn about themselves? What disaster was avoided because of our characters?
Nothing.
Okay.
Not only nothing. I mean, we know that Dr. McCoy is a sneaky prick. We know that Spock will use rules to his advantage, and we know that anytime we meet a new alien, Captain Kirk will be walking with his phaser out. That's actually one of the funnier things in there. This is like the second or third time he's done this. I pointed this out once before, like in the Apple. He punches someone, goes, "We mean you no harm."
Yeah.
Here he says that to the Empath. "We mean you no harm," with his phaser in his hand. Yeah, I could tell. You seem rather peaceful. Yeah, I don't know what it. I will tell you, this had 11 rewrites. I know you're surprised.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I think each time they must have taken something out.
Yeah, I feels like it. Muscat herself wrote it. Let's see, rewrote it 4 times. Singer touched it like an additional 2 times, and Freiberger added into this another 4 times. So it's like, are you kidding me?
Mm.
It's like ridiculous. So even though everyone here is experienced in television and writing and so forth, I just don't think the script was right for Star Trek. It could have almost been like an Outer Limits in some regards. That's kind of also what it reminded me of, like with a very small story in a sense where people are being tortured as a test.
Right.
But I just don't think, with the lack of sets on top of it, it needed something else. Although I have to agree with you, the special effects of the aliens, I like. And I think one of the problems is that because there's a lack of a set or a lack of even a lot of dialogue, except for our 3 characters, they're kind of like expositing or filling in the blanks on every scene. And as much as Catherine Hayes is a good mime, I don't think she can carry the story without their talking about it.
But why again? Why not give her dialogue? It would have filled up some very, very needed filler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's, if you look at it, besides the Vians saying like, yes, we can trap you behind this like energy field.
Field draws its energy from your bodies. The more you resist, the stronger the force field becomes.
And use your own strength against us. There's really no explanation until like really the last 15 minutes of this. It's just,
I know.
I don't know.
Set it up. Just set it up once you get there. Then
Right.
have Scotty dealing with the different, races in the ship, maybe getting to a little bit of a skirmish, but using his excellent abilities to like de-escalate perhaps. And then have Spock, I don't know, out logic the aliens.
Well, as it is, the only thing he does, though, is because he says that I'm the only one who knows what my brain impulses are like, so I can rewire their weaponry to make it what I want to do. It's a very, though, I want to say there's more to it, but I've just told you the entire story. The aliens are there to test the alien woman who McCoy names as Gem. I mean, that's, I think, one of the only funny lines is it sure beats saying, hey, you. Yeah, that's quite true.
Gem, Doctor? Well, that's better than hey, you.
Why Gem also? I don't understand. Why would you name her Gem?
Okay, listen, we don't have much to talk about in this episode. I will say, I like the kind of psychedelic, weird black sets with the colorful accents. And I did think that it was interesting. I did think that it was interesting that Echoes of Future Trek, you have an empath with dark hair playing a crucial role. So we'll have her, obviously is going to go and revisit that later on, right, in TNG.
Sure thing, Imzadi.
You're right.
But that actually wasn't, that was, in the TNG, that's actually Ilea. That's actually Ilea from the motion picture.
Wait,
that was supposed to...
No, but obviously it's being reused. Decker is Riker and Ilea is Deanna, but she is not an empath. She's a Deltan, all about that section. So,
but she can also take away pain. She takes away pain from Chekhov, screaming Chekhov, and
no, but that's after she's transformed.
No, that's before she's transformed.
Oh.
It's when they, yeah.
Never mind then. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, I didn't say no. I said oh.
Oh, okay. Well, this must be that cold.
Yeah.
But I like the idea here of an empath. I mean, they did that special effect where Kirk's got a cut, then she touches him, and then Jem has the cut on her. Troy doesn't do that, but it's kind of that's an interesting thing. It's very similar to earlier special effects work. I'm going to cite your least favorite episode, Miri, where the lesions disappear on McCoy's face. I mean, I know it's stop motion, but I stop at where they remove the stuff and they cut away type of thing. But I actually liked it here. she gets sick or ill that way. She's touching Kirk.
She touched my head and the pain is gone. The wound is completely healed. It fits Jim. She must be an empath.
I also like the weird gizmos and stuff over there. But then you see the bodies of the scientists over there. What did you think of that, out of curiosity?
Cool. No, interesting. But
You think they could have made it more horrific? Or did you like their jazz hand freeze in the test tubes over there?
I mean, it was very horrific to me. I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah.
It would have been
Yes.
less horrific if they were a pile of mulch.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, and then you have the 3 test tubes, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, which I guess is kind of obvious. Yeah, I'm not really too sure where else we're going on this. I mean...
This might be our shortest episode ever, because while it's competent, and while, the acting... Again, what do we got going for it? And this is obviously true in the 3rd season. Everything looks pretty good. And the acting is pretty good. And, the characters obviously know themselves. They're acting with a lot of, how do I say, conviction? I don't know. Confidence. But what's the problem? The problem is that there's just nothing deeper going on here. They're running out of ideas, and the writer's room, I think, is just I don't know. I guess, for lack of a better word, lazy. They're just churning it out. Did they know they were canceled by this time?
No, not yet. But I will tell you that, stories like this gives reason to it. I've mentioned this before. You're missing the main power behind Star Trek. Roddenberry's gone. DC Fontana is gone. Robert Justman's on his way out. Gene Kuhn is gone. So they're trying to get that science fiction in here. Their science fiction here is just not strong enough. One of the complaints in making this is there was really no jeopardy at several times. There was no jeopardy in this. There was no... It wasn't clear what the hell was going on. Jem, the idea is that Jem learns something from here, but it's taken it such a long long in the tooth kind of way.
Right, you're well into the... I mean, how many acts are there? 5 acts in a typical Star Trek episode, right?
5 acts. That's usually 5 acts.
So I believe that it's in the 5th act that the concept, or maybe the 4th. I guess the 4th act, that the concept that that McCoy is possibly going to be kept.
Yeah,
is introduced. So it's okay, to do it that late in the episode, that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just all right. Maybe we would have been a little concerned if that type of jeopardy was entered earlier on. Whatever.
Right. Well, there was a couple of concerns. NBC had concerns about the Bible verses. They were saying, it's going to upset the Bible thumpers.
Weird.
There was also concerns about showing torture over here. I guess no one yelling, there are 4 lights, So that's actually...
The torture was pretty fucked up.
It really was. That's why I said that when last episode, I told you the next one's more body horror-ish. This has a lot of that in here. But it seems like they've stretched it out. I mean, one of the bigger, they're torturing Kirk at one scene. They're torturing McCoy. You can actually see that, and they're getting the crap kicked out of them. And that's actually pretty disturbing in all of it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of filler here, like Kirk running in slow motion.
Yes.
When they finally get to the surface. I didn't understand that. All I keep thinking about is The Wizard of Oz, where they're yelling about poppies. That's all I keep thinking about.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
It just didn't. Yeah, you or in The Office. Yeah, it didn't really make sense. But by the way, here's a surprise. It was a black box to save money. You shocked?
No, but I think that was a happy accident. I think it looked cool.
But it did. This is very similar to a Outer Limits episode, by the way, with torturing humans called Nightmare.
Oh?
It's very, very similar to that. Guess why? It's the same group that helped put this together. So it's not an original idea. They were afraid they were going to get sued, but
Yeah, not only that, this whole thing where this they have a Dune moment, the slow blade enters the shield. That was from
okay,
Dune was written in '65. It was I guarantee you any sci-fi writer had read that.
that's true. Well, here, let me just read you a quote, and this should tell you something about the director, John Erman. He didn't really like this show, but he was trying to, be pragmatic to save money.
Uh-huh.
He was the associate producer on that episode Nightmare on the Outer Limits, so I think that's why he was picked. But I gotta read you this line he said. It's in our book. Frankly, I knew the show was a big hit. I just didn't care about it. It wasn't anything that I ever got personally involved with. Seems to me I knew that it was a good career step. It was a successful show. In those days, I didn't have a lot of say as what I could do. You just kind of got booked. Your agent would call and say, "You're going to do 3 episodes of this or 4 episodes of that," and away you go. Okay, fine. But this show was not something that I had any real feelings about. That should also give you a
Pretty
hint.
sure that's something like that Alex Kurtzman has said.
Yeah, it almost sounds like Alex
Yeah.
Kurtzman, but that's 60 years later. This is a guy in the highlight of this stuff. I just find that actually quite telling, is that how pathetic. The person that they hired had no interest in it. It's like what James Doohan pointed out, that Freiberger didn't know what he was doing. It sounds vaguely familiar in regards to modern episodes of Star Trek, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that could be why Starfleet Academy got canceled, because it's terrible. But this is just really terrible.
Yeah, I saw a headline today. They're dismantling all of the sets of the Kurtzman era Star Trek.
Oh, yes.
By the way,
Thank goodness.
I must have been. I've been trying to figure this out. Yeah, I don't know if you know this because I know that your trivia is more for old Trek. The Titan set. Do you reckon that was an existing Strange New World set?
Yeah, that's an existing Strange New World set. Yeah, all that stuff it's the same thing again and again.
Yeah, because
they have all the big sets.
Right. Okay, I was just curious. That being said, they are they're doing an auction. I'm like, oh man, I might actually spend some money to try to get some Titan A material.
Okay, well, good luck to you on that one.
Show.
I actually have the catalog from the Sotheby's auction, from the original series all the way through the end of Next Gen. The catalog itself was $150 when I bought it, and that's when the auction was going on. I still think that's neat. And like, people were buying things like, oh, I need the sticker from the third door on the left side, and it goes to that detail. I can, you know what? I'll maybe put a couple of pictures on for our community page to see what actual Star Trek stuff looked like.
Well, I was reading this thing about come on, Michael. I was reading about the auctions from 2025, Star Trek related auctions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is right. I have to corroborate it. It says that the flute from the Inner Light went for $405,000. Is that possible?
Well, let's Google it and find out. No, I think it's possible. I mean, if you watch this other podcast or YouTube channel called Movies, Magic, and More, he always goes through the props. Like one of the submarines from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea went for $100,000, and it's basically just a styrofoam model.
And that's also pretty obscure.
No, it's not that obscure. It's obscure to you.
I mean, like, it doesn't have that many modern fans, is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's only us older people that are kind of remember it. That's just crazy. Though that I wonder how much it is on for an actual, but like, people purchase like one of the Gorns. I think Ben Stiller has a Gorn head, actually.
Well, yeah, he must have been a fan. He referenced that in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, so he is a big fan, and he actually showed Shatner the and by the way, just to let you know, that flute, I just looked it up, sold for $403,200 in September of 25, and I'm like, really?
Well, you know what?
Well,
a lot of Star Trek fans have some serious money these days, but that's a crazy overpayment. I know.
That's a lot more court cases than I'm involved with. I'll tell you that.
My brain will melt. Oh God.
Well, let's just get back to the series,
of
because
course.
believe it or not, this episode, let me just tell you something also that's interesting. Willard Sage, who is Than, which is one of the torturers here, one of the Vians,
Yep.
he's also a torturer in Nightmare. What a weird coincidence from the Outer Limits.
Yeah, quinkydink.
Yeah, Alan Bergman is the other one, named Lol. All these people, they were in other various things. One of the Jason Wingreen, Dr. Lake, he was in Long Hot Summer and Archie Bunker's Place. And the other guy, Dr. Roberts or Dr. Ozaba, which is Davis Roberts, was in a whole bunch of other things. D. Kelly liked this episode because he thought it made his character grow. I guess you could say it did. I don't see that much of a growth from McCoy. We already know he's selfless, and he will use trickery to protect his friends. This is not the first time. I mean, if you think to a mock time, he knocks Kirk out with was in a triox compound. He knocked him out so he wouldn't lose to Spock. I mean, die, according, to that.
Right.
And here he is. He knocks Spock and Kirk. Well, he knocks Kirk out because he's got the bends, but he does dirty Spock by knocking him out, so they take him.
Your action is highly unethical.
I thought that was pretty selfless of Dr. McCoy. So I don't know if it necessarily made him really grow more. I think it just examples more of who he is.
Right.
I will tell you, let's see, one other notable thing. The director, Ehrman, noted that Nimoy, Shatner, and Kelly were trying to exert power over the production, believe it or not.
I can imagine that. They're probably being protective of it when they see it's going bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could probably say, like, hey, this is my character. You don't know what the hell you're doing. I understand that entirely.
Quite.
Yeah, whatever. But that's pretty much it. So we've got this test. I would have liked, you mentioned it, like, with Scotty in charge. I would have liked to have seen him, like, they get, like, desperate calls from the other planets, like, take us out, we're stranded, you have a starship, help us, that type of thing.
Yeah, something.
That would have been interesting. Something like that, or like they at least pick up the signals.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's really anything else here. They torture McCoy to trick the gem, the empath, into healing him.
An instinct new to the essence of her being is generating. Compassion for another is becoming part of her functioning life system.
And they test it, and then at the end, Kirk gives a speech like, don't you think she's been tested enough? Don't you have your answer? Aren't you just being a little ridiculous with your testing? You expecting perfection?
You've lost the capacity to feel the emotions you brought Jem here to experience. Don't understand what it is to live. Love and compassion are dead in you. You're nothing but intellect.
I think that's, he points out that their tests are just as bad or evil in their torture as well. And you never hear from the Vians again or see them again. That's the other thing. It's a little bizarre.
Yeah, like, what's the source of their power? How, are they around? They're not Q level, but they're obviously much more advanced than the Federation.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, whatever. Well, wait, I just want to point out the only thing I actually like is when they're going away. I kind of like that, even though, it's a camera trick where they're like, looks like they're flying away. I like that. But other than that, I can't really think of anything that really stands up. So, yep, that's it. That's the Empath. It's not one of everyone's favorites. It's Black Box. So let's just get first to our costs. I will tell you that, believe it or not, this ran 1 day over budget. I know it's hard to imagine.
I mean, the makeup, listen, I know this sounds silly, but the makeup looked pretty good. So, and it seemed like it
the
took
makeup
a while
was good
to put on.
Yeah, it was just not so well done at the time because, believe it or not, this was filmed right after In Truth Is There No Beauty. So it's after, quote, the Iddick Rebellion, and also when Roddenberry actually exited. So it had a lot of bad feeling between cast versus production staff. Oh. So that's also what slowed it down. But what do you think this costs, Mike, in $1968, knowing that this ran 1 day over budget?
I'm going to say $199,000.
Wow. No, it's $181,820 in $1968. Might as well be $199. And in 2025 dollars, that's $1,693, $444.31. I can't even see it. I mean, the effects are very minor. I mean, you have like that Quonset hut. I guess that staircase is very expensive.
I will say this. I
But
mean, listen, here are the benefits: good makeup, good premise, good acting, good sets. Detriment: not enough plot, nothing to do, doesn't justify its existence, and our beloved characters are just kind of left staring and like looking around, just like props. And they, again, the biggest thing is it really would have been solved if you just gave Scotty something to do. And like we
yeah,
love Scotty, it wouldn't have even caused that much because it would have been like another half day of dialogue with him and the
yeah,
Enterprise where he already was. So,
yeah. They're just floating around doing nothing. that's
but listen,
that's
I've not liked other Star Trek. I've lower ranked other episodes when there are gaping plot holes or the characters act dumb or there's like what am I trying to say here? Gaping plot holes done. There's no justification to the motivations. Or it's the same premise that we've seen 3 or 4 times. This was a little different. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10.
wow. You know what? I give this on my scientific 1 to 10 scale a 5 out of 10.
I was thinking about
Very
5.
much the same reasons. You're gonna keep yours at 5
No,
too.
no, I said I was thinking
Deal.
about 5. No, I'm going to keep it at 4.
Oh,
Just because
all right.
it's a little below average. It's a little below just fine. But it's not
Yeah,
as bad
no,
as the other stinkers.
I totally agree with you. I can see that as well. Just as some quick odds and ends, D. Kelly pulled his back. Sound Mixer had a toothache. Catherine Hayes had a migraine. Shatner and Nimoy got sick from food
Oh,
poisoning.
no.
All from this. And you were right. Alan Bergman, that's one of the Vians, said it took over 3 hours to get into the makeup. So it's part of the delays. But that's neither here nor there. You gave it a 4. I give it a 5. Let's get out of this system and go on to the next one. The next episode, I will tell you, it's actually one of my favorite ones in season
Oh.
3. A lot of people, yeah, it's called Elan of Troyes. Yes, it's a play on the words of Helen of Troy, but I actually like that one a lot. It's got action, it's got adventure, and it goes back to our crew being on the ship type of thing. It's a lot of fun. Have you ever heard or seen of Elan of Troyes
I have
yet?
not, sir.
Well, I will tell you, it's way faster than this show, this episode, and that's coming up next. And since we are wrapping up this episode, everyone, thanks for your patience. We did get sick in this, but if you want to reach us, always remember to email us at yellingatgas@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. It's important to help make the channel grow. And as always, stop by our TeePublic t-shirt store, where the description's in the YouTube channel and also on all of our podcasting sites. And buy a t-shirt, everyone. Show your love for the podcast. And that's pretty much about it for this episode. Mike, anything you'd like to add besides that you hope you feel better?
I hope I feel
We
better,
all hope
too.
you feel better.
Thank you. God, I think I'd be fine if the weather got warmer, but it's supposed to. So let's hope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's hope.
I will just
All right.
say, Captain, even when it's a big old sinker, and even when I'm not feeling good, it's nice to navigate the galaxy with my captain.
And it's always nice to navigate with my XO, even if you are sneezing out every green molecule I can see.
I think I may sneeze.
A Klingon sneeze?
But I'm glad. Hopefully, you'll be better this week when it gets in really warm. And that takes us to the end of this episode, everyone. So we'll look forward to seeing you next time when we cover Elan of Troyes. And as always, live long and prosper, and we'll see you out there.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.